Hello, Megan here. This is going to be a short movement practice with some time for breathwork and meditation at the end, as usual. And today the highest we're going to go up from the floor is potentially a forward fold. So we're going to be staying pretty low, moving pretty slow. Right now, as I'm recording, it's late at night, but regardless of whatever time you're practicing, sometimes we just really gotta slow down. Today is the equinox, the autumn equinox, 2024. And yeah, I don't know if anyone else is feeling the energy, but it's pretty chaotic. Just lots of things swirling around, lots of things changing. Yeah, and sometimes it takes a little bit for the system to catch up with all of the subtleties and natural cycles. So, I'll just leave it at that. But we're gonna get started in a child's pose today. Oh, and before we get started, of course, have any props that you'd like. And go ahead and have your stuff for seat close by. I've got my blanket and set up right over there, so I'll just grab that whenever we come into the seat. But yeah, take a moment to grab that if you need, and then we'll get started in child's pose. So tops of the feet down, big toes together. I would suggest for today knees further apart, but if you like knees close together, can totally do that. Knees further apart is a little bit more opening for the hips. Knees closer together is a little bit more soothing for the spine. So you just think about what you want. Forehead down onto the floor or a blanket. And arms extended long overhead in front of you. And just take this time to key into your breath. You can slowly start to shift it into long, slow, deep breathing. And with every breath out, invite your hips, your low back, your shoulders, your neck to relax a little bit more, to let go. I have a friend, a fellow teacher, who says that relaxation of the body is kind of like a series of nesting dolls. With every breath, you get to tune into another layer of release. And notice what it's like in your mind, also your body, to slow it down, to be this still. Observation becomes one of our most important, most powerful tools in the practice of yoga. And keeping your breath nice and steady, your heart nice and low to the floor. Walk your hands, your forehead, your chest over to the right. So it's like you're adding a little side body stretch into your child's pose. Forehead and heart more or less still in the center of the line of your arms. And you can rest your left hand on top of your right. And imagine your breath coming in and out of the left side of your body. Three more breaths here like this. And after that third breath or third-ish breath, walk your hands, your torso, everything to center to do the exact same thing over on the left. So now maybe right hand rests on top of the left and visualize, imagine your breath coming in and out of that right side body. Two more rounds of breath here. And slowly return to center. And as you make your way back to the middle, stay in the child's pose shape. Rest one hand on top of the other with the elbows out to the sides, and rest your forehead on top of your stacked hands. Just to give your heart some space to sink to the floor, for your shoulder blades to move towards the spine without any muscular effort. And then inhale, lift away from the floor. Exhale to take your time and transition into tabletop, or all fours, or hands and knees, whatever you'd like to call it. Wide hands press down into the palms, cow and cat. Inhale, reach your heart forward and up, sit bones back and up. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine, puff out the back of your heart as you drop the crown of your head towards the floor. And repeat at the pace of your breath. Two more here. And after that second round, as you get there, return to tabletop, that flat back sensation. Just a nice long spine with a little bit of core engagement. It's going to feel like you're pulling your belly button away from the floor. Extend your left leg out to the left. Left foot about in line with the right knee. Toes can face forward or slightly out to the left, whatever feels good on that knee. And then one round of cow and cat. Inhale. Exhale. And then lean the hips back towards that right heel. Left toes will probably come off the floor. 3 rounds of breath. And then inhale, lift back up, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, tabletop. Right foot out to the right. Toes forward or slightly out to the right. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then long spine, hips lean back. Let those right toes and the right ball of foot do whatever it needs to do. 3 breaths. And then inhale, lift away. Exhale, tabletop. Any additional movement that you need here. And then make your way down onto your belly, hands a little further out in front, knees further back. Hips, belly, chest down. And just take a few minutes here with your chin or your forehead on the floor to wiggle out your hips. I always say like a happy puppy. And then hands slide back with the fingertips still facing forward, under the shoulders or even slightly further back behind underneath the shoulders. Feet nice and far apart. Inhale, lift up using your upper back strength. Stay here as you breathe out. Baby cobra. One more breath here. And as you exhale, roll down to either your chin or your forehead. And we're going to do that again. Inhale, lift. You can stay here or maybe press into the hands to come a little higher. You're going to try to keep shoulders out of the ears, head of the arm bones towards the back plane of the body. Hold for 3 breaths. So the arms and the shoulders end up working a lot more than you think they would in this shape. Exhale, roll down. Bend your knees so your toes point up to the ceiling, and with just a little range of motion, windshield wiper side to side. And then return to center. Engage your core by pulling your belly button away from the floor and lift up into tabletop. From tabletop, lean over to the left and walk that right foot forward. You can use your hands to help you for low lunge position. We're going to keep fingertips on the floor to start. And then left hand stays on the ground. Inhale, rotate to the right. Exhale, right hand on top of the knee or thigh to help you twist. Kind of like you're popping your back, but you don't need to be super forceful. And you can stay like this or extend right arm up to the ceiling. Just honor whatever you're looking for in the shoulder. 3 breaths. And on that last exhale, right hand down. Guide the hips back, right leg starts to straighten, half splits. You can keep the whole foot down, sole of the foot down if you want, or point the toes up to the ceiling. 3 breaths. And slowly return to the front of the mat, lean to the left to return to tabletop. 1 round of cow and cat. And then lean over to the right. Low lunge with the left foot forward. Both hands stay down for a few moments. And then palm of the right hand grounds into the floor. Inhale, rotate to the left. Exhale, left hand on top of the thigh to help you twist. Stay here or left arm up to the ceiling. Either way is perfect. Doesn't have to be the same on both sides. 3 breaths. And then return left hand to the floor. Guide the hips back, half splits on this side. Once more, 3 breaths. Left leg is as straight as you feel like you can sustain it and keep the spine feeling long. And then return to the top of the mat. To come into tabletop, cow and cat. And from that flat back sensation, extend the right foot to the back of the mat, toes curled under like your right leg is in plank. And then slide the right leg over to the left, even off the mat, and look over your left shoulder. Try to keep the sides of your neck nice and long. And on your next exhale, return to tabletop. Inhale, left foot to the back of the mat, left leg in that plank shape. Exhale, slide it on over to the right, look over your right shoulder. And even think about that right hip anchoring back a little bit. And return to tabletop, to return to the belly. One round of cobra, as much lift as you'd like, only one breath. And as you make your way back to the floor, extend your right arm out to the right, palm faces down, in line with the shoulder. So open wing, if you're familiar. You're going to rest your right cheek on the mat, so you're looking over to the left. Right hand on the floor, kind of in front of your nose, your mouth. You'll find the sweet spot with the elbow pointing up to the sky. And bend your left knee, left toes up to the ceiling. Start to push into that left hand to roll onto the right side. Left foot will come down onto the floor behind your right knee. So this is one that we really try to crank it and overdo it. Ultimately, you do you. There's just not a lot of force that's necessary. 3 breaths. And then slowly return back to center. Gonna hang out on your belly for a few breaths with the left cheek down on the floor and arms out by the sides, just in any way that helps you not engage the muscles for a moment. And then left arm out to the left, palm faces down, right hand presses into the mat right in front of your face. Bend your right knee and slowly start to roll onto the left side. Right foot down behind the left knee. 3 breaths. And slowly return back down with the right cheek on the mat. Arms down by the sides. And then left cheek on the mat, keeping the arms down by the sides. And return to center, hands under your shoulders. Push up through tabletop. So cross one ankle over the other to sit back down behind your ankles to come into a seat. If you're like, no way, you just scoot to one side or the other and come into your seat. All right. Gonna do just a couple more seated shapes and then we're gonna move into breathwork and meditation. I'm going to take my hair down because when you have a lot of hair and the ponytail is loose, it just starts to hurt your head. So, excuse me. All right, cross-legged seat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rotate to the right. Hands land where they land. No need to use them to pull any deeper. And just let the torso, the muscles around your spine do that work. Excuse me. On your next inhale, return to center, arms up high. Exhale, opposite side. Nice steady breath, soften your tongue. And on your next inhale, return to center, arms overhead once more. Exhale, right hand down by the right side, left arm up and over, side body stretch. So you can keep your right arm straight or you can bend the elbow towards the floor. If you have a block, you can always bend the elbow on top of a block. And left arm is as straight as it feels like you can keep it, without gripping too much through that side of the neck. And inhale, rise to center, arms high. Exhale, opposite side, left arm down. Right arm up and over. Take your time to find what feels best, variation-wise. One more inhale. Stay here as you exhale. And then inhale, high arms. Exhale, hands out and down. Last shape. Extend your legs long. And then bend your right knee, right ankle on top of the left thigh, just above the knee, for a figure four shape with one leg long. If you really want to do fire log pose, go for it. I like the leg long because when you add in the forward fold, I feel like it works deeper into the back of the knee and the calf. And that just feels really good. So you do what you want. Wherever you're at, breathe in. Exhale, hinge from the hips to fold forward. Don't worry about how far you go. It's not always very far, or as far as we think we're going to go. And then can soften the spine, chin to chest. Maybe walk your hands forward. And if it's comfortable in your neck, really do let your chin fall towards your chest. You don't have to pull it there, but it's just like your head and neck fell asleep. And in the next breath or two, walk yourself back up to a tall spine. Switch out the legs, right leg long, left knee bends, so you're in figure four with that left leg. Flex the right foot. Inhale, nice tall spine, like you're stretching up out of those hips. And then exhale, fold forward to that limit, wherever it is. And then spine rounds, heart softens, chin to chest, hands forward. This also slowly works into the low back. I mean, honestly, stretches are a little different for everyone, just based on, where tension sits, where habits are, all those things. But yeah, we tend to feel this one in the hip, the low back as well. All right, slowly make your way back up. I know I said this is going to be the last one, but we're going to do just one more, both legs long. I always feel like we should end on something symmetrical. So just a seated forward fold. You can stay upright. Sometimes this is really enough. Or same thing, inhale. Exhale to hinge at first and then soften the heart. And on an inhale, walk yourself back up. Whew. Any last little bits of movement that you need. And then set yourself up for a seated position. For some breath work and meditation. I have my fancy sheepskin. You do not need it. You don't need anything fancy. And if sitting on the floor is not cool for you for any reason, like you can back yourself up to a wall, you can sit on a chair. Those things are completely fine. Spinal support is absolutely welcome. The more we sit like this, the more used to it we get and with those postural muscles. But when we first get started, achiness is very real. So just give yourself the support you need. It's not necessary to just strain through it. All right, and the same thing goes with your leg position. If cross knees are just not feeling good for your knees, straighten one or both of them. Doesn't matter. It's all gravy. I wanted to say groovy and gravy at the same time. Okay, we're going to keep it simple, just like the movement practice. I feel like the last thing we need at this moment is just lots of complication. So hands can rest any way that you'd like them to, on your knees or your thighs. Soften your gaze, which means you almost close your eyes, but you just find one spot on the floor in front of you to kind of lose your sight in, or close your eyes down. Breath in and out of your nose. And allow it to slow down. Whether the eyes are closed or just barely open, feel the muscles around your eyes. Relax, release, let go. And imagine that your nostrils sit at the very base of your throat, kind of between your two collarbones. And so as you're breathing in and out, that's where you're breathing in and out of. And this is just one of the ways that we can move a little deeper into the sinuses without feeling like we're sniffing a pie, And as you do that, you'll need to soften the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. And you may start to hear your breath internally move through the caverns of your sinuses. And if you don't, that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, nothing like that. And visualize at your heart center, in the center of your chest, a flower opening and closing with every breath in and out. So it's like a flower is breathing in your heart. Any type of flower, doesn't matter what. And as you inhale, the petals open like it's morning and there's sunshine. And as you exhale, the petals close like it is nighttime with no moonlight. Inhale, flower opens. Exhale, flower closes at your heart. And trust that your video hasn't glitched. I'm just sitting in the space with you. Know that I will call us out when it's time to close. And just continue to breathe in and out of the nostrils at the base of your throat. And allow the petal, or rather the flower, the petals of the flower, to breathe with you. And the flower might change. There might be some spontaneous ahas that arise, or memories that come up. And there's nothing that needs to be dwelled upon at this moment. And trust your system. Trust that whatever's coming up is just meant to be there for that moment. Trust that you're not going to forget anything you need to remember. Continue to focus on your breath and the flower. A lot of the times we can get so captivated by what churns up or gets churned up in the practice that we stop the practice altogether. But it's the practice that brings us to these places of greater understanding, of breakthroughs, of transformations, of letting go. And is the practice itself that is meant to be maintained. Stay with your breath and start to let the visualization of your heart flower go. And ask yourself, what can I do? What action can I take to establish a greater sense of balance, equanimity, harmony in my life right now? What action can I take to establish a greater sense of balance, equanimity, or harmony in my life right now? You can stay in meditation for as long as you'd like, of course. If you're ready to close your practice, just start to deepen the breath. Maybe add a little bit of gentle movement, swaying side to side, rocking back and forth. And slowly open the eyes as you are ready. Thank you so much for letting me hold the space tonight, or whatever time of day it is for you. Transition mindfully into the rest of whatever you've got going on. And let me know if you have any thoughts or questions. All right, I'll see you later.